Wow, I have not made a video in a long time. It feels good to be back and dust this camera off and make another video here. This is a video of me making my daughter's bed. She was transitioning from a crib to a toddler bed, and yes, I know this is a little overkill for a toddler bed, but it's a bed that she will hopefully grow into, and I won't have to worry about either making or getting another bed for her for quite some time. So this will hopefully pay off in the long run. And yes, I'm doing a voiceover because I had music playing in the background, and instead of boring you guys with the Kill Me Now music on YouTube, I'm gonna bore you guys with my voice and crappy commentary. So I hope you enjoy that. I am cutting the sides of the frame that holds the mattress. And if you guys are looking for plans or drawings, I don't have any. I the only plan I have was I measured out the size of the mattress and to make sure I would fit inside of the frame, and I still messed that up. I made it so that the this is the picture right here of the only design I had. Yeah, that's it. But I made those measurements. I made the frame. Those measurements were supposed to be to the ID, which are inside dimensions, and I made it to the OD, which are outside dimensions. So it was my first design change, and there was many more after that, but it's fine. I'm just making marks for the pocket holes here, extending the line so it's easier to see where you line it up. You know exactly where that hole is going. I'm not going to bore you too much with the pocket hole stuff because I'm sure you guys have seen that plenty of times and know how it works. So this is just a little bit of the process that I did, so I wanted to add it in and just show you guys how I did it. And then just putting it together. Again, I'm sure you know how that goes. This is actually the best part of the video is coming up. I actually caught my reaction to realizing I messed up that measurement for the mattress frame. And that's what's about to be played here. I'm thinking, did I really just do that? Dang it, I did. You are stupid. After a little bit of cooling down and probably a couple curse words, I figured out how I was going to solve it, figured out a solution, and just kept going. Even though I was still fairly in the beginning of the project, I didn't want to have to start over by going out to get more plywood. I just didn't want to waste what I had already cut, so I figured out a way I could still save it and make it work. So that's what I did. And what is, sorry, I'm just trying to see what this is. Okay, this is the support that's going to hold the slats for the mattress. That's going to hold the mattress. That's just the basic glue and screw that in. The slats themselves, which I'm going to be cutting here in a second, they are just screwed in. They're not glued. This whole project, I had to make it in a way that I could take it apart and put it back together. I had to get it up to her room by myself, otherwise she was going to sleep down in the basement. So I always had to keep that in mind, how I could take this apart, but also keep it strong enough to withstand a toddler's force, which if you have a toddler, you know that could be crazy. But this is, so I'm just showing you how I cross-cut my material before bringing it onto the table saw. I lost my little my T-square for cross-cutting with the circular saw somewhere. I'll just have to make a new one. I didn't feel like it, so I just had a piece of scrap straight edge that I screwed to the waist side of the 3/4. And these are the sides for the bench, which I kind of skipped ahead for your guys' sake. It was the same pocket screw and glue together. This is the bench slash, the bench slash like toy storage. So you can see here I already have like the hand hole cut out. 3 of the 4 sides are put on. Putting the last one on now. I did add a bottom to it after this, which I don't have on video. I don't have a lot on video actually because I messed up with my storage space. I'll explain that a little bit later. But this is I'm using a clamp because anybody that has used pocket screws knows how frustrating it could be to keep it from sliding when you are tightening that screw. So the clamp helps with that and lines everything up, and it's kind of just like a third hand for you, and comes in handy for sure. But this is the bench done. I went ahead and put the this is not, bench is not done. This is me thinking really hard about the railings. You can see my double check of the measurement there, and I'm ready to cut. Nope, I gotta do a triple check, which is pretty rare and almost unheard of, is the triple check. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna make another mistake, and I probably did. But no, they turned out fine. So I cut all those pieces. This was the first railing that I made. Here I rounded everything over that a toddler was going to possibly touch. So there was no sharp edges or possible splinters. But what I found out after doing my first railing was that it's much easier to go ahead and round it over the full, 8-foot piece, and then cut it to your smaller dimension instead of having to route out all these smaller pieces like this. It's just a little bit more dangerous because your hands are going to have to be much closer to the router bit, and I felt like it was just more time consuming also to do it this way. So keep that in mind. Router table, there we go, would also help, but I did not have one, so this is what I had to do. So yeah, after rounding all that over, I assembled the first railing, and that dark piece of wood you see there is a chunk of walnut that I was using as a spacer. I can't tell you off the top of my head what size that was, maybe 2.5 to 3 inches, but yeah, it was just do this multiple times, and then I'm putting the top railing on. And this is just a glue and brad nail situation here. I always say that the nails are acting as the clamp until the glue dries, because the glue is doing 99% of the work when it comes to the strength in this situation. And not every, but that's what it looks like when it's all said and done. And then putting so you can see here that the railings sit on top of the bed frame, on top of that 3/4 edge, I was originally planning on having the uh, vertical pieces going down inside of where the mattress is going to be, and then screwing it from the inside, which I thought would be strong, or my strongest option, and also having it be removable. So, but being I needed a design change, I decided to use flat plates, um, and add a extra piece of 1x3, I think it was, that I could screw from the inside of the bed frame. And it actually ended up being very sturdy in the end with all the pieces together. I was actually surprised with how sturdy it was. So I am not worried at all about it breaking, unless if she does a suplex sumo wrestling move off of her rooftop or something. I don't even know, but I'm not worried about it breaking. Um, but yeah, this was just a process of getting the railings all together and still being able to come apart. Again, I had to keep reminding myself to not glue anything that has to come apart. That would have been pretty fun. So just pushing that tight to get that gap closed. And that's what it looks like. All done. The frame is done where the mattress is going to go. And then the bench is next. There it is. I just went ahead and did the railing for that. Same concept, same thing. And this is the lid for the bench. I was just test fitting it here. I had made my crop marks on where I want it to go, and I'm just double checking that it's not going to bind or hit the railing or anything when being opened. I used a piano hinge for the main hinge, and then I also put on, you'll see, I think they call them they're not child proof, otherwise they wouldn't be able to get in, but I think they're child safety hinges. They're like spring loaded, and you'll see when you lift it open, the lid stays up, and you have to actually physically force it back down to close. So there's no way that the lid will slam down on their fingers or anything like that. You can see here when I lift it up, it stays there. I try to put a couple more screws in, and then you physically have to push it back down to close it. They're actually pretty nice, and you don't have to worry about anybody breaking their fingers. So I'm using 2x materials for the frame of the rest of the bed, where like the roof part is and all that. I believe this was just a 2x6. I can't tell you off the top of my head of what I'm ripping them to. I don't remember. And again, I don't have plans to refer to, so I apologize for that, but I'm just ripping them so I could get max material out of them. And I had to lay it out on the floor to get all my angles, which is always a challenge to deal with, the angles and all that. So this is just pre-drilling and screwing together. Again, keeping in mind that this mostly all has to come back apart to get upstairs. It's too big to take up as one piece. So I had to keep that in mind while doing this, and also keeping it strong. It did end up being pretty strong because I did screw this to the wall also. But this is kind of what I had to add this centerpiece there, and an easy way I could do to find out the length I needed to cut it to was just put my T-square up there. Luckily it was long enough that it reached where I needed it to, and I just made my mark, and it was simple. And then is exactly what I need, this exact length I needed. and then I just put that on there again, just pre-drilled and screwed that all together. And then you'll see here how I just screwed it to the back of the whole bed house, I guess we can call it. But this is the part of the video where it kind of speeds up because I was running out of room on my card. So I did leave out like just the majority of the sanding, the painting. I did end up adding a actual roof to it. I wasn't originally going to. I was going to leave it all open, but I had some leftover shiplap, and so I went ahead and added a roof. So you'll see that in the final photos, but this is just basically where the video part ends. It's right here. I did do one more thing where I just mocked up the frame, as you see right here. I mocked that up for the front side of that. Again, you'll see that right here, and then adding in the cross supports. So this is it for the video portion of it. So these are the photos that I have, the finished photos of it in her room, painted, all done. The roof is on. We did add some like little starlights and stuff like that. There's the shiplap. That was just stapled on. Yeah. And the roof, she absolutely loves it. There's what it looks like with the lights off and her lights on. She enjoys it. But yeah, I hope this video gives you guys some ideas if you're looking to do something like this. I'm sorry it's not so much of a how-to video. I hope you learned from some of my mistakes that I made, and hopefully you get some ideas from this video. But if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. This was a very fun project to make for her. It was very rewarding to see her so happy about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as she did. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.